I was standing at the kitchen counter, chopping vegetables for dinner. The smell of garlic filled the air. Everything felt normal, peaceful even. Then I felt a small tug on my robe. I looked down. My 6-year-old daughter, Lily, was staring up at me with those big brown eyes. But something was different. She looked scared. "Mom," she whispered. "Can I stop taking the pills Aunt gave me?" My blood ran cold. I set the knife down slowly. My hands were shaking, but I didn't want her to see. "What pills, sweetheart?" Lily bit her lip. She always did that when she was nervous. "It's the ones Aunt Patricia gives me." She said they're vitamins. But they taste weird, and my tummy hurts sometimes. I knelt down to her level. I kept my voice calm, steady, even though inside my heart was pounding so hard I could barely breathe. "How long has Aunt Patricia been giving you these pills?" Lily thought for a moment. "Since she started watching me after school. Maybe a month?" A month, an entire month. My sister-in-law had been giving my daughter mystery pills for a whole month, and I had no idea. "'Kay, baby," I said softly. "Can you bring Mommy the bottle? Do you know where she keeps them?" Lily nodded. "In her purse. She always puts it back after I take one." "Is her purse here?" "She left it in the living room when she went to the bathroom." I hugged Lily tight. "You did so good telling me. I'm so proud of you. Now go get it for me, okay? But be quick and quiet." She ran off, and I stood there in my kitchen, frozen. My mind was racing. Patricia had been watching Lily for about 5 weeks now. Ever since I went back to work full-time at the accounting firm downtown, she'd offered to help. Said it was no trouble. Said she loved spending time with her niece. I trusted her. God, I trusted her completely. But now I didn't know what to think. Lily came back a minute later with a small orange prescription bottle. She handed it to me with both hands. Like it was something dangerous, and maybe it was. I looked at the label. It was blank. No pharmacy name. No doctor's name. No prescription information. Just a plain orange bottle filled with small white pills. "Thank you, baby. You can go watch cartoons now, okay?" Lily looked relieved. She ran off to the living room. I heard Patricia's voice a moment later. "Hey, sweetie, what you're watching?" I slipped the bottle into my pocket. My heart was beating so fast I thought I might pass out, but I had no idea what was coming next. Let me take you back a little. Let me tell you how we got here. My name is Sarah. I'm 34 years old. I've been married to my husband, Kevin, for 8 years. We met in college. He was studying business. I was studying accounting. We fell in love over late-night study sessions and cheap coffee. We got married young. Had Lily when I was 28. Life wasn't always easy. Kevin worked long hours at his father's construction company. I stayed home with Lily for the first few years. Money was tight sometimes, but we were happy, real happy. Then, about 2 years ago, Kevin's dad passed away. It was sudden, a heart attack, no warning. One day he was there, the next he was gone. Kevin took over the company. It was a lot of pressure, a lot of responsibility, but he handled it. He's always been strong like that. His sister Patricia took it harder. She was close to their dad, real close. After he died, something in her changed. She became distant, quiet. She stopped showing up to family dinners. Stopped returning calls. Kevin tried reaching out. I did too, but she just pulled away. Then, about 3 months ago, Patricia suddenly came back into our lives. She showed up at our door one Sunday afternoon. She looked better, healthier. She said she'd been going to therapy. Said she was working through her grief. She wanted to reconnect with family. We were thrilled. Kevin hugged her for a long time. I made her favorite dinner. Lily drew her a picture of butterflies. It felt like we had her back. And when I mentioned I was going back to work and needed help with after-school childcare, Patricia immediately offered. "Let me do it," she said. "I don't have a job right now anyway, and I'd love to spend more time with Lily. Please, it would mean so much to me." How could I say no? She was family. I thought things were fine. I really did, but I had no idea what was happening behind my back. That night, after Patricia left, I told Kevin everything. We were in our bedroom with the door closed. Lily was asleep down the hall. Kevin sat on the edge of the bed, holding the orange bottle. His face was pale. She told Lily they were vitamins. That's what Lily said, but there's no label. No prescription, nothing. I know. He looked up at me. Sarah, what the hell is this? I don't know. That's why I think we need to get them tested. Kevin nodded slowly. First thing tomorrow. I'll call Dr. Hendricks. Good. Set the bottle on the nightstand. Then he rubbed his face with both hands. This doesn't make sense, he muttered. Why would Patricia give Lily pills? Why would she hide it from us? I sat down next to him. I don't know. But whatever's going on, we need answers. And we need to keep Lily safe. Should we confront her? I shook my head. Not yet. Not until we know what these pills are. If we tip her off too soon, she might lie. Or disappear again. Kevin clenched his jaw. I can't believe this. My own sister. I put my hand on his arm. Let's not jump to conclusions. Maybe there's an explanation. Maybe it's something harmless. But even as I said it, I didn't believe it. Something deep in my gut told me this was bad. Real bad. The next morning, I dropped Lily off at school like normal. I smiled, I waved. I acted like everything was fine. But inside, I was falling apart. I drove straight to Dr. Hendricks' office. He'd been our family doctor for years. Lily had been seeing him since she was a baby. I trusted him. I walked into the clinic and asked to see him urgently. The receptionist looked concerned. Is everything okay, Mrs. Carter? I just need to speak with him, please. It's important. She nodded and picked up the phone. 5 minutes later, I was sitting in Dr. Hendricks' office. He was a kind man. Late 50s. Gray hair, warm eyes. He'd always treated us like family. Sarah, he said gently, what's going on? I pulled the orange bottle from my purse and set it on his desk. I need you to tell me what these are. He picked up the bottle, looked at it, frowned. Where did you get these? My sister-in-law has been giving them to my daughter. Without my knowledge, for about a month. His frown deepened. And you don't know what they are? No. There's no label. She told Lily they were vitamins. Dr. Hendricks opened the bottle. He shook a few pills into his palm, examined them closely. Then he looked up at me and his face went pale. Sarah, he said slowly, I need to send these to the lab. Right now? My stomach dropped. What is it? You recognize them? He hesitated. I don't want to say anything until I'm sure. But if these are what I think they are... He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't need to. The look in his eyes told me everything. How fast can you get results? I'll put a rush on it. 24 hours, maybe less. Okay, Sarah? He leaned forward. Until we know what's in these pills, I need you to keep Lily away from your sister-in-law. Do you understand? I nodded. My throat was too tight to speak. And I need to examine Lily today if possible. Can you bring her in after school? Yes, I'll bring her. He reached across the desk and squeezed my hand. We're going to figure this out. Try to stay calm. But staying calm was impossible because I could see it in his eyes. He was scared, and that terrified me. I picked Lily up from school that afternoon. I told her we were going to see Dr. Hendricks for a quick checkup. She didn't ask questions. She was used to doctor visits. In the car, she was quiet, Mom. She said after a while, Yeah, baby. Is Aunt Patricia mad at me? I glanced at her in the rearview mirror. Why would you think that? Because I told you about the pills. She said they were our secret. She said I shouldn't tell anyone. My grip tightened on the steering wheel. Lily, you did the right thing. You should always tell Mommy or Daddy if someone asks you to keep a secret. Okay, even if it's family. Especially if it's family. She nodded slowly. Okay. We pulled into the clinic parking lot. I helped. Lily out of the car and held her hand as we walked inside. Dr. Hendricks was waiting for us. The exam took about 20 minutes. He checked her vitals, drew some blood, asked her questions about how she'd been feeling. Lily mentioned the stomach aches, the occasional headaches, feeling tired sometimes. Dr. Hendricks wrote everything down when it was over. He asked Lily to wait in the lobby with a nurse while he talked to me privately. I sat across from him in his office again. My hands were trembling. "She seems okay," he said carefully. "No immediate signs of serious harm. But I won't know for sure until the blood work comes back." "When will that be?" "Tomorrow morning, same time as the pill analysis. And then," he paused, "and then we'll know what we're dealing with." I nodded, but the waiting was agony. That night I couldn't sleep. Kevin stayed up with me. We sat in the living room talking in whispers. "What if it's something bad?" I asked. "What if Patricia was trying to hurt Lily? Why would she do that? It doesn't make sense." "None of this makes sense, Kevin." He was quiet for a long moment. Then he said something that made my blood run cold. "Sarah, what if it's about the inheritance?" I looked at him. "What do you mean?" "When Dad died, he left everything to me and Patricia. 50. But there was a clause in the will. If either of us dies without children, our share goes to the other sibling. Or their kids." My heart stopped. "Kevin, Lily is my only child. If something happened to her..." He couldn't finish. I couldn't breathe. "No," I whispered. "No, that's insane. Patricia wouldn't." But even as I said it, the pieces started falling into place. Patricia's sudden return, her eagerness to watch Lily, the secret pills, the stomach aches. Oh God. "We don't know anything yet," Kevin said. "Let's wait for the test results. Let's not go crazy until we have proof." But I could see it in his eyes. He was thinking the same thing. I was. And it was the most horrifying thought imaginable. The next morning, my phone rang at 8:47 a.m. It was Dr. Hendricks. "Sarah, I need you to come to my office immediately." "Bring Kevin. What is it?" "What did you find?" There was a long pause. "Just come now." The line went dead. I looked at Kevin. He'd heard everything. We didn't say a word. We just grabbed our keys and ran. 20 minutes later, we were sitting in Dr. Hendricks' office. The door was closed. The room felt smaller than before. Dr. Hendricks sat across from us, holding a folder. His face was grim. "I got the results back," he said quietly. "Both the pill analysis and Lily's blood work." "What are they?" Kevin asked. "What was Patricia giving our daughter?" Dr. Hendricks opened the folder. He looked at us, and then he said something that shattered my world. "These pills contain a compound called thallium sulfate." I blinked. "What is that?" "It's a poison, Sarah, a slow-acting poison. It was used historically as a rat killer before it was banned. In small doses, it causes stomach pain, fatigue, headaches. In larger doses over time..." He stopped. "Over time, what?" Kevin demanded. "It causes organ failure, hair loss, neurological damage, and eventually, death." The room spun. I grabbed Kevin's arm to steady myself. Are you telling me," I whispered, "that my sister-in-law was poisoning my daughter?" Dr. Hendricks nodded slowly. "The levels in Lily's blood are still low. She hasn't suffered permanent damage. But if this had continued for another month or two..." He didn't finish. He didn't need to. I understood Patricia was trying to kill my baby, and she almost succeeded. I don't remember leaving the doctor's office. I don't remember the drive. Home, everything was a blur of tears and terror and rage. Kevin drove. I sat in the passenger seat staring at nothing. My whole body felt numb, like I wasn't really there. Like this was all some horrible nightmare I was going to wake up from any second. But I didn't wake up, because it was real, all of it. My husband's sister, the woman I'd welcomed into my home, trusted with my child, had been slowly poisoning my little girl, for money, for an inheritance, for something as cold and meaningless as that. "We need to call the police," Kevin said. His voice was barely recognizable, flat, hollow. "We need to have her arrested." "I know. We'll have proof. The pills. The blood work. Dr. Hendricks will testify." "I know." He gripped the steering wheel so tight his knuckles went white. "Sarah, I swear to God I'm gonna know." I reached over and grabbed his arm. No, Kevin, we're gonna do this the right way. We're gonna make sure she pays, legally, permanently, so she can never hurt anyone again. He was shaking. I'd never seen him like this. My strong, steady husband was falling apart. And honestly, so was I, but we had to hold it together for Lily. We got home just before noon. Lily was at school. She was safe there. For now, Kevin called the police while I sat on the couch, clutching a throw pillow like it was the only thing keeping me grounded. An officer arrived within the hour. Then another. Then a detective. We told them everything. We showed them the pills, the test results. Dr. Hendrick's report. The detective, a woman named Rodriguez, listened carefully. She took notes. She asked questions. When we finished, she looked at us with something like sympathy. "This is a serious accusation," she said. "Attempted murder of a minor, poisoning, premeditation, if the evidence holds up. Your sister-in-law is looking at decades in prison." Kevin nodded stiffly. "Good. We'll need to bring her in for questioning." "Do you know where she is right now?" I shook my head. "She usually comes over around 3 to pick Lily up from school. That's when she watches her." Detective Rodriguez checked her watch. "It's 1:15 now. We can have officers waiting here when she arrives. Or we can pick her up at her residence beforehand." "Here," I said quickly. "I want to see her face. I want her to know that we know." The detective hesitated. "Are you sure that's a good idea? Confrontations can escalate." "I need this," I said. My voice cracked. "I need to look her in the eye and ask her why." Kevin put his hand on my shoulder. "We'll be careful. But Sarah's right. We need answers." Detective Rodriguez nodded slowly. "All right. We'll have plainclothes officers positioned nearby. When she arrives, let her inside. Try to act normal. We'll come in once she's settled." "Okay, and Mrs. Carter?" I looked up. "Whatever she says, don't engage physically. Let us handle it." I nodded. But inside, I wasn't sure I could keep that promise. The next 2 hours were the longest of my life. I tried to clean the kitchen. Couldn't focus. I tried to watch TV. Couldn't concentrate. I just kept pacing. Back and forth. Back and forth. Kevin sat at the dining table, staring at his phone. He'd texted Patricia earlier, acting normal. "Hey sis, you still good to pick up Lily today?" She'd replied with a smiley face. "Of course. Can't wait to see my favorite niece." My stomach turned. How could she do this? How could she smile and pretend like everything was fine while she was murdering my child one pill at a time? What kind of monster does that? At 2:45, my phone buzzed. It was Detective Rodriguez. "We're in position. 2 officers in an unmarked car across the street. 2 more around the corner. When she enters the house, give us a signal. Open and close the front blinds twice. Got it? Stay calm. You can do this." I hung up. Kevin looked at me. "Ready?" "No," I admitted. "But let's do it anyway." At 3:02 p.m., there was a knock at the door. My heart nearly exploded out of my chest. Kevin squeezed my hand. Together. We walked to the door. I opened it, and there she was. Patricia, smiling that same sweet smile she always wore. Her brown hair was pulled back in a neat ponytail. She had on a floral blouse and jeans. She looked so normal, so harmless. "You too," she said cheerfully. "Is Lily ready? I was thinking we could go to the park today. The weather's so nice." I forced myself to smile back. "She's not home yet. Come on in. I'll make some coffee." "Oh, perfect. I could use some caffeine." She walked past me into the house, like she owned the place, like she hadn't been trying to kill my daughter for weeks. I closed the door behind her. Then I walked to the front window. I opened the blinds. Closed them. Opened them again. Closed them. The signal was sent. Now we just had to wait. I led Patricia to the kitchen. Kevin stayed in the living room, pretending to watch TV, but I could see his jaw clenched, his fists tight at his sides. "So," Patricia said, sitting down at the kitchen island, "how's work been? You seem stressed lately." I turned on the coffee maker. My hands were shaking, just busy. You know how it is. I get it. That's why I'm so glad I can help with Lily. She's such a sweetheart. My throat tightened. Yeah, she is. She told me she loves our little after-school time together. We do crafts, watch movies, play in the backyard. It's honestly the highlight of my week. I couldn't take it anymore. I turned around and faced her. Patricia. Something in my voice made her pause. Yeah. Lily told me something yesterday. Her smile flickered. Just for a second, but I saw it. Oh, what did she say? She asked me if she could stop taking the vitamins you've been giving her. Silence. Patricia's face didn't change, but her eyes did. They went cold. The vitamins. That's what you told her they were vitamins. In an orange bottle. No label, she laughed. But it sounded forced. Oh, they're just gummy vitamins. I keep them in a different container because Lily likes the orange bottle. It's no big deal, really. Of course. Why? Is something wrong? I stared at her. She stared back. And then I said it. I had them tested, Patricia. Her face went pale. You... What? I took them to Dr. Hendricks. He analyzed them. And you know what he found? She didn't answer. Thallium. You've been giving my daughter thallium. The room went deadly silent. Patricia's mask finally cracked. I saw it. The fear, the guilt, the realization that she'd been caught. But then something else. Something. I didn't expect. She smiled. Not a nervous smile. Not an apologetic smile. A cold, cruel smile. You think you're so smart, don't you, Sarah? I took a step back. You think you've figured it all out? The poor little wife who uncovered the big bad secret. Patricia, what the hell? She stood up slowly. Her eyes were hard now. No warmth left. No pretense. You have no idea what I've been through. No idea what it's like to watch your brother get everything while you get nothing. The company. The house. The perfect little family. Kevin appeared in the doorway. Patricia, stop. She turned to him. Oh, don't act so innocent, Kevin. Dad always loved you more. He gave you everything. And what did I get? 50% of a company you run? Scraps, leftovers. That's not true. It is true. She screamed. I was supposed to inherit everything. I was the one who stayed with him when he was sick. I was the one who held his hand when he died. And what did I get? A check and a pat on the head. She was shaking now, tears streaming down her face, but I didn't feel sorry for her, not even a little. So you decided to kill my daughter, I said quietly, because of money. Patricia laughed bitterly. You still don't get it. It wasn't just about the money. It was about what I deserved. If Lily was gone, Kevin's share would eventually come to me. Or at least, that's what I thought. You're insane. Maybe, but I almost got away with it. And that's when the front door burst open. Detective Rodriguez and 2 officers rushed in. Patricia Clark, you're under arrest for the attempted murder of Lily Carter. Patricia didn't resist. She just stood there, staring at me with those cold, empty eyes. As they put the handcuffs on her. She said one last thing. Should have let it happen. Sarah, it would have been easier for everyone. I didn't respond. I just watched them drag her out of my house, out of my life. Forever. But the nightmare wasn't over. Not yet, because the next few weeks were some of the hardest I've ever lived through. There were police interviews, lawyer meetings, court dates, media attention. The local news picked up the story. Aunt accused of poisoning niece for inheritance. 'Twas everywhere. Our faces were everywhere. Lily didn't understand most of it. We tried to shield her as much as possible. Told her Aunt Patricia had to go away because she made some bad choices. She was confused, sad. She kept asking when Patricia. It's coming back. It broke my heart every time. Kevin took it hard too. He blamed himself. I should have seen it, he kept saying. She's my sister. I should have known something was wrong. Couldn't have known, I told him. None of us could. But the guilt ate at him anyway. We started seeing a family therapist. All three of us. It helped. Slowly, we learned how to talk about what happened, how to process the fear, the betrayal, the anger. Lily's physical health improved quickly. Dr. Hendricks monitored her closely. The thallium levels in her blood dropped. Her stomach aches went away. Her energy came back. She was going to be okay. She was going to be just fine. But the emotional scars took longer to heal. 3 months later, Patricia's trial began. The prosecution laid out their case. The evidence was overwhelming. The pills, the blood tests, the lab reports, Dr. Hendricks' testimony, Patricia's own confession in my kitchen, which Kevin had secretly recorded on his phone. I hadn't known he was recording, but I was so glad he did. Patricia's lawyer tried to argue insanity, said she'd suffered a mental breakdown after her father's death, said she wasn't in her right mind. But the jury didn't buy it, neither did the judge. Patricia was found guilty on all counts: attempted murder, poisoning a minor, conspiracy to commit murder. She was sentenced to 45 years in prison? No. Possibility of parole for at least 20. When the verdict was read, Patricia didn't cry, didn't scream. She just sat there, staring at the table in front of her like a statue, like she'd already given up. Kevin watched from the gallery. He didn't look at her once. After the trial, he told me something I'll never forget. I don't have a sister anymore. She died the day she decided to hurt my daughter. I didn't argue, because he was right. The Patricia we knew, the one we loved, the one who was family, was gone. Maybe she'd never really existed at all. Life slowly started to return to normal. Lily went back to her regular, routine school, friends, playdates. She laughed again, smiled again, started drawing pictures of butterflies again. One day, she came home with a drawing of our family, me, Kevin, and her. "Where's Aunt Patricia?" I asked carefully. Lily shrugged. "She's not in our family anymore, Mom. You said so." I hugged her tight. "That's right, baby. It's just us now. And that's more than enough." Kevin started seeing his own therapist. It helped him work through the guilt and the grief. He still struggled sometimes, but he was getting better, day by day. As for me, I became fiercely protective, maybe too protective. I checked Lily's backpack every night, monitored every person who came near her, ran background checks on her teachers, her friends' parents. Everyone got Kevin finally had to sit me down. "Sarah, you can't live like this forever. I'm just being careful. You're being paranoid. And I get it. I really do. But Lily needs a mom who trusts the world again, not one who's scared of it." It was right. It took time. But I started to let go. I started to trust again, not blindly, not recklessly, but enough to breathe, enough to live. 1 year after Patricia's arrest, something unexpected happened. I got a letter in the mail, no return address, just my name, handwritten on the envelope. I opened it carefully. Inside was a single sheet of paper, and the words on it made me freeze. "Do you think it's over?" But it's not. "I have friends on the outside, and they're watching your daughter." My blood ran cold. I called Detective Rodriguez immediately. "It's probably a scare tactic," she said. "Patricia's been trying to appeal her conviction. She's desperate. She might have had someone send this to intimidate you." "But what if it's real?" "We'll increase patrols around your home. I'll have someone look into visitors she's had in prison. Don't panic." It's easy for her to say. She didn't have a daughter whose life had already been threatened once. I didn't. "Tell Kevin about the letter." Not. At first, I didn't want to worry him, but I couldn't sleep that night, or the next. Or the next, I kept checking the locks, watching the windows, looking over my shoulder everywhere I went. And then, 3 days later, something happened that changed everything. I was picking Lily up from school, like always. She ran out of the building with her backpack bouncing. "Mom, guess what? I got a gold star on my spelling test." "That's amazing, sweetheart." I hugged her tight. I'm so proud of you. We walked to the car hand in hand. And that's when I saw him. A man standing across the street, watching us. He was tall, broad shoulders, dark jacket, sunglasses even though it was cloudy, and he was staring directly at Lily Dot. My heart stopped. I pulled Lily close to me. Get in the car, baby. Now, Mom. What's wrong? Just get in. Hurry. I opened the back door and practically shoved her inside. I looked back across the street. The man was still there, still watching. Then he smiled and walked away. I jumped in the car and locked the doors. My hands were shaking so badly, I could barely start the engine. You're scaring me, Lily whimpered. It's okay, baby. Everything's okay. But it WASN single quotes T. Because I knew right then that this wasn't over. Patricia still had a plan. And I'd no idea what it was. I drove straight to the police station. I didn't go home. Didn't stop anywhere. Just drove as fast as I legally could while Lily sat in the back seat asking questions I couldn't answer. Mom, who was that man? I don't know, baby. Why are we going to the police? Just to talk to someone. It's okay. Are we in trouble? No, sweetheart. We're not in trouble. I promise. But my voice was shaking, and Lily knew something was very, very wrong. When we got to the station, I asked for Detective Rodriguez. She came out within minutes. One look at my face told her everything. What happened? I told her about the man, the way he watched us, the smile before he walked away. She listened carefully. Did you get a good look at him? Could you describe him to a sketch artist? I think so. Tall, maybe 6 feet? Dark hair, broad shoulders. He was wearing a black jacket and sunglasses. Any distinguishing features? Tattoos, scars. I thought hard. There was something on his neck. A tattoo, maybe. I couldn't see it clearly. Rodriguez nodded. We'll pull security footage from the school. See if we can get a better image. And then what? Then we find out who he is and what he wants. I looked at Lily, who was sitting on a bench nearby, swinging her legs nervously. I can't let anything happen to her, I whispered. Not again. Rodriguez put a hand on my shoulder. We're not going to let that happen. I promise you. I wanted to believe her. I really did. But promises didn't mean much anymore. Not after everything we'd been through that night. Kevin and I had a long conversation. I finally told him about the letter. He was furious. Why didn't you tell me before? I didn't want to worry you. I thought it was just a scare tactic. That's what Rodriguez said. And now, after some guy shows up at our daughter's school. Now I don't know what to think. It paced the living room, running his hands through his hair. We should move. Get out of this city. Start over somewhere Patricia can't reach us. Kevin, we can't just run away. Why not? If it keeps Lily safe, running won't solve anything. If Patricia really has people working for her, they'll find us wherever we go. He stopped pacing, looked at me. Then what do? I took a deep breath. We fight back. The next few days were intense. Detective Rodriguez worked with her team to identify the man from the school. They pulled footage from nearby cameras, enhanced images, cross-referenced databases, and finally, they got a hit. His name was Marcus Webb, 40-2 years old. Criminal record, a mile long. Assault, theft, intimidation. He'd done time in 3 different states. And here's the kicker. He'd visited Patricia in prison twice. We brought him in for questioning. Rodriguez told me over the phone. He's not talking much, but we have enough to hold him. Stalking. Violation of a protective order? Possibly conspiracy. What about Patricia? Can you prove she sent him? We're working on it. Prison calls are recorded. If she gave him instructions, we'll find the evidence. And in the meantime, we've got officers watching your house around the clock. You're safe. I wanted to feel relieved, but I couldn't. Not until Patricia. It's completely out of our lives. Not until she had no power left. 3 days later, Detective Rodriguez called with news. We got her. What do you mean? We reviewed Patricia's prison phone calls. She was smart, used coded language, but not smart enough. We have recordings of her discussing the project with Marcus Webb. She mentioned your address, your daughter's school, even the timing of the pickup. My heart pounded. So she really was planning something. It looks like she wanted Webb to scare you. Maybe grab Lily if he had the chance. Use her as leverage to negotiate a reduced sentence or transfer. I felt sick. She was going to kidnap my daughter. That was the plan, but it failed. Thanks to you. I sat down heavily on the couch. What happens now? Patricia's facing additional charges. Conspiracy to commit kidnapping. Witness intimidation. Her sentence is going to be extended significantly. She's never getting out, Sarah. Ever. I closed my eyes. Tears streamed down my face, but for the first time in weeks. They weren't tears of fear. They were tears of relief. The next few months were about healing. Real. Healing. Not just surviving day to day, but actually putting our lives back together. We sold our house to many bad memories there. Too many ghosts. We found a new place across town. A cozy 3-bedroom with a big backyard. Lily loved it immediately. She claimed the room with the window seat and spent hours there reading and drawing. Kevin left his father's company. It was a hard decision. The business had been in his family for decades, but he couldn't separate it from Patricia anymore. Every time he walked into that office, he saw her face. He sold his share to a longtime employee who'd been like a second father to him. It's time for a fresh start, Kevin said. For all of us. He opened his own small contracting business. Nothing huge. Just him and a couple of guys doing renovations and repairs. He was happier than I'd seen him in years. I cut back my hours at work. Being with Lily mattered more than any paycheck. I needed to be there for her. Really there. We had dinner together every night. We played board games on weekends. We went on hikes and picnics and road trips to nowhere in particular. We became a family again. A real one. One evening, about 6 months after Patricia's additional sentencing, Lily came to me with a question. We were sitting on the porch watching the sunset. The sky was painted orange and pink and gold, Mom. Yeah, baby. Why did Aunt Patricia want to hurt me? I froze. We talked about this before in therapy, in careful age-appropriate terms. But Lily had never asked so directly. I pulled her onto my lap. Sweetheart, sometimes people get very sick inside their minds. Not like a cold or a fever, but a different kind of sick. It makes them do things that don't make sense. Things that hurt others. Was Aunt Patricia sick like that? I think so. She was very sad and very angry about things that happened a long time ago. And instead of getting help, she let those feelings turn into something dark. Lily was quiet for a moment. Is she still sick? Probably. But she's somewhere now where she can't hurt anyone. And she's never, ever coming back. Good. She snuggled closer to me, Mom. Yeah. I'm glad you found out about the pills. I'm glad you saved me. My heart squeezed so tight I could barely breathe. I'll always save you, Lily, no matter what. That's my job. That's what moms do. She smiled up at me. I know. And in that moment, everything felt right. Everything felt whole. Life went on. Lily started 2nd grade. Made new friends. Joined the soccer team. She was fast, that girl. Faster than kids twice her size. Kevin's business took off. Word spread about his quality work and fair prices. He had more jobs than he could handle. Had to hire 2 more guys just to keep up. I eventually went back to work full-time. But I chose a different firm. One closer to home with better hours. With people who understood that family came first. We weren't rich. We weren't famous. But we were happy. Really, truly happy, and that was worth more than anything. 2 years after everything happened, I got another letter. This time, it had a return address, a prison address. My hands trembled as I opened it. It was from Patricia. Sarah, I know you probably don't want to hear from me. I wouldn't blame you if you threw this letter away without reading it. But I need to say something. I'm sorry. Not because I want anything from you, not because I'm trying to manipulate you, but because I finally understand what I did. I've been in therapy here. Real therapy. For the first time in my life, I'm facing the truth about myself. About my jealousy, my resentment, my twisted thinking. I was so consumed by what I thought I deserved that I almost destroyed an innocent child. Your child. My niece. There's no excuse for that. None. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I don't deserve it. I just wanted you to know that I see now. I see how broken I was. How broken I still am. I hope Lily is doing well. I hope she's forgotten about me. I hope she grows up to be everything I never was. I won't write again. Patricia, I read the letter 3 times. Then I set it down on the table. Kevin found me there an hour later, just staring at it. What is it? Patricia wrote to me. He tensed. What does she want? Nothing. She apologized. He picked up the letter. Read it slowly. When he finished, his expression was unreadable. Do you believe her? I thought about it. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe she really has changed. Maybe prison forced her to confront herself. Does it matter? No, I said quietly. It doesn't. She still did what she did. She still tried to kill our daughter. An apology doesn't erase that. So what are you going to do with this? I picked up the letter, walked to the fireplace, and dropped it into the flames. Let it go, I said. That's what I'm going to do. Kevin wrapped his arms around me from behind. I love you. Sarah, I love you too. We stood there, watching the paper burn, watching the last piece of Patricia disappear. And finally, I felt free. 5 years later, Lily was 11 tall for her. Age, athletic, smart. She had her father's determination and my stubbornness, dangerous. Combination. She was also the kindest kid I'd ever known. Always looking out for the underdog. Always standing up for kids who were being bullied. Always sharing her lunch with anyone who forgot theirs. I don't know where she got it. Maybe it was the therapy. Maybe it was the trauma she'd survived. Or maybe she was just born that way. Either way, she made me proud every single day. One Saturday morning, she came bouncing into the kitchen. Mom, Dad, I have news. Kevin looked up from his coffee. Good news or we need to sit down news. Lily grinned. Good news. Mrs. Patterson says I'm the best student in her class. She wants to recommend me for the advanced program next year. I pulled her into a hug. That's amazing, sweetheart. I'm so proud of you. Kevin ruffled her hair. Knew you had it in you, kiddo. Lily beamed. Then her expression turned thoughtful. Mom? Dad, can I ask you something? Of course, baby. She sat down at the table. You think bad things happen for a reason? Like maybe something terrible has to happen so something good can come out of it. Kevin and I exchanged glances. Why do you ask? I said carefully. Lily shrugged. I was thinking about Aunt Patricia, about what she did, and I realized something. What's that? If it hadn't happened, we might not be as close as we are now. You might still be working all the time. Mom, Dad might still be stressed about the company. We might not have moved to this house or met the friends we have. She looked up at us. I'm not saying I'm glad it happened. It was really scary. But maybe it made us stronger. Made us appreciate each other more. I felt tears prick my eyes. When did you get so wise, Lily Carter? She grinned. I learned from the best. Kevin pulled both of us into a group hug. You know what? He said, you're absolutely right. We've been through hell, but we came out the other side together, and that's what matters. Lily nodded against his chest. Together, she repeated, and I knew right then that everything was going to be okay. More than okay. Perfect. 10 years later, Lily was 21. She'd just graduated from college with a degree in psychology. She wanted to help kids who'd been through trauma. Kids like her. I'd never been more proud. The graduation ceremony was on a sunny afternoon in May. Kevin and I sat in the audience, holding hands, tears streaming down our faces, when Lily walked across the stage to accept her diploma. She looked out at the crowd and found us. She smiled, mouthed the words, "Thank you." I mouthed back, "I love you." Later, at the celebration dinner, Lily made a toast. "To my parents," she said, raising her glass, "who saved my life, literally, who protected me when I couldn't protect myself, who taught me that family isn't just about blood, it's about choice, about love, about showing up even when it's hard." She paused. I know what happened when I was a kid. I know how close I came to not being here. And I want you to know that not a day goes by when I don't appreciate the life you gave me. The second chance." She wiped her eyes. "So thank you, Mom. Thank you, Dad, for everything. I love you more than words can say." Kevin squeezed my hand so hard it almost hurt. But I didn't mind because my heart was so full it could barely contain it. That night, after Lily went out to celebrate with her friends, Kevin and I sat on our porch just like old times, watching the stars come out. "We did it," Kevin said quietly. "Did what?" "Raised a good kid." Despite everything, I leaned my head on his shoulder. "We did, didn't we? Remember when all this started? That night in the kitchen when Lily asked about the pills. How could I forget? I was so scared. I thought we were going to lose her. Lose everything. Me too." He turned to look at me. "But we didn't. We fought. We survived. And now look at us." "Look at her," I smiled. "She's going to change the world, Kevin. I just know it. She already has. She changed ours." We sat there in comfortable silence. The kind of silence you can only share with someone who knows you completely. Someone who's been through the fire with you and come out the other side. After a while, Kevin spoke again. "Do you know what I've been thinking about lately?" "What?" "How grateful I am. For you, for Lily. For this life we've built. Me too. I used to think happiness was something you achieved, like a destination. But now I know it's not. It's something you create day by day, choice by choice." I looked at him. "When did you get so philosophical?" He laughed. "Comes with age, I guess." I kissed his cheek. "I love you, Kevin Carter. I love you too, Sarah Carter. Always have. Always will." And that's my story. It started with a tug on my robe and a question that changed everything. It took me through the darkest moments of my life, through fear and betrayal and heartbreak. But it also led me to something beautiful. A family bound not by blood, but by love. A daughter who turned tragedy into purpose. A husband who stood by me through it all. And a life that, despite everything, turned out pretty darn good. If you're going through something hard right now, something that feels impossible to survive, want you to know this: you can get through it. You will get through it, and on the other side. There is a life waiting for you that's better than anything you can imagine. Trust the process, hold on to the people who matter, and never, ever give up. Because the best stories aren't the ones without struggle. They're the ones where you fight through the darkness and find the light. And let me tell you something. Our light shines brighter than ever. Lily grew up to help thousands of kids heal from trauma. She opened her own practice, wrote a book, became a voice for survivors everywhere. Kevin and I grew old together, watched our daughter thrive, spoiled our grandkids rotten. We never forgot what happened, but we didn't let it define us. We let it refine us. And now we live every day with full hearts and big smiles. Because that's what you do when you've been given a second chance. You grab it with both hands, and you never let go. The end. Thank you for reading this story. I hope it touched your heart the way it touched mine while I wrote it. If you're still here, you're part of this journey now too. And remember, no matter what life throws at you, there's always hope. There's always a way forward. There's always a happy ending waiting. You just have to keep going until you find it. And trust me, you will. The end.